Well, what's going on, guys? It's been getting pretty hot, so we've been trying to get a lot more work done in the morning. We're a little late to it with this horse. Probably should have done him earlier on, but not a huge deal. This is Duke, 4-year-old unstarted quarter horse. This is the one that I made a video on roping, I believe, last week, and we're gonna film a little bit of what we're doing today. We've just been working on getting him handled, getting him respecting our space, following us, following our balance, and moving and flowing with us. And he's doing pretty good. This guy is that horse that I had talked about that had really never been around other horses. And that's a very tricky situation for an animal to be in because they're not learning herd dynamics. So he's definitely a little pushy, a little dull, and doesn't really understand a species barrier, right? Thinks that whatever he does or would naturally instinctively do to a horse, he can do to humans, which might include like rubbing on them, leaning on them, whatever. And he doesn't mean it in a nasty way, but he doesn't understand that that can be dangerous to some degree. So we've just been working on developing that a little bit. It's an interesting horse to show you guys because this type of stuff, you know, I would say is not super common. It's not super common to be working with a horse that has never been around other horses. So like I mentioned in a previous video, we've got him in a herd environment right now, and he'll kind of just keep walking up to other horses and thinking he might be in charge and nip at him or something, and they'll go ahead and tell him off, and he'll keep going and they'll tell him off some more, and he's starting to learn the boundaries, which is really good because I obviously can't handle him 24/7. So the horses are doing a lot of my work as well. But today, Jess, this is just a brace right here, asking him to step over on the forehand. There. Good. Try the other direction. Good. What do you say, little dude? But definitely an interesting horse to share with you guys. This, just so everyone realizes, is if you've watched a lot of our Colt starting stuff, I talk a lot about the safety component of it, and be ready in certain situations for the horse to jump into you, you know, jump out, could kick you, blah, 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 and how to prevent that or mitigate as much of that risk as possible. And the one thing I'll say with this horse is, this is the horse that when you first saddle that potentially would jump on you, right? And that's just because he doesn't have a regard for human space, right? He, again, doesn't have that understanding of a species barrier that when I'm in the pen, or at least didn't when he first came, that when I'm in the pen, you know, he needs to yield to my space, right? Respect my space, move to it. Initially and originally, he'd be just kind of right on top of you and super, super dull and heavy, and just not a good feeling deal. And I never want to have to physically move a horse or pull him or drag him somewhere, right? That's not a good experience for the horse, and it's not good horsemanship practices. So case in point, the reasons I'm saying that this would be the horse that might jump on top of you is because of that. Because he just has had 4 years of disregarding space, right? He hasn't been in a herd that has taught him, you know, when a horse walks at you, you back up, right? That there's consequences to pushing into someone, to nipping someone, to trying to kick someone, stuff like that. So, but he's starting to learn it. You could see there, he's getting pretty soft about it. So today, guys, I'm gonna go with his flow, but my plan is to do a little bit of a first saddling for him We'll cinch this up real quick. Just with the lead. See him already leaning into me right there. Thanks, buddy. I'll release that. So all I'm doing here is mimicking cinch pressure. And this is kind of just my precursor to putting that saddle on. I want to make sure that he's okay about this. We don't have a ton of time with this horse. We've got 90 days. So even though I might give him, if he were my horse, just a touch more time, process some of this stuff, we don't necessarily have that luxury. We're not going to rush him, but we do need to be efficient. So, yeah, all right, brother. So this horse hasn't had cinch pressure before, I don't believe. He's never been saddled. You say, brother? Good boy. Good boy. Nice again here. Oh, yeah. Not too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad. So today, guys, if you've watched previous colt starting videos, for saddlings, thank you. For saddlings, I don't do with a pad. Colts don't have withers to begin with, and putting extra layers on there just sets them up for that saddle to slide even more. So just to make it easy on them, keep that saddle as stationary as possible. Hi, buddy. I don't like doing a pad. So I do know that the owners had hired someone to start putting a saddle on them, and they had never cinched it up. So who knows why that is. We're gonna go ahead and do it today. So when I put a saddle on a horse first here, you can see I've got this offside stirrup. Hopefully you guys can see that over here, right on that horn. Let him check it out with that right eye. It's because I don't want that stirrup falling over and slapping him. This horse is not nearly as reactive, knock on wood, as a lot of the ones we work with. But I'm still gonna take a lot of those extra measures to make sure it's a good experience for him. Hey, buddy. Yeah. So before we do anything here, I'm gonna go ahead and walk him. I'm gonna hold the saddle in case he squirts out. Just engage his hip here. Thanks, buddy. Walk him for a moment. Good boy. I want to turn to the left. Good. And we'll take a turn to the right. Good. Not too bad, huh? Yeah, buddy. Go ahead and take that off. Very nice. Oh, straighten that stirrup a little bit. So yeah, like I was saying, guys, this is a situation where this horse could have a fair disregard for your space. So with horses like this one, try and eliminate as much of that as you can before you do this saddling. But two is approach the situation safely, right? So be aware that they may have that in them. If they're pushing into your space, they walk in front of you when you walk. If they bump into you, if you go to feed them and they're eating out of the trough while you're trying to feed, stuff of that nature, that's a disregard for your space, for your energy, and that's when they're thinking. So when they are not thinking and they start reacting, can be a little bit concerning. right about what they're gonna do. Good boy. Good boy, dude. Good boy. He's just thinking about it here. Good boy. I'm gonna walk him real quick. Just engage his hip. This is where you gotta be careful, guys. If they're gonna blow up, it's gonna be right there. Right when they move, but I've got this not locked in all the way. Got it loose enough, right, where I can relieve that pressure. What do you say, buddy? But I'm gonna go ahead and see if we can't get this to a safe spot. Where it's snug enough on him that it's not gonna come off. It's pretty good. Go ahead and let him off and see how he handles it here. What do you say, young buck? You see that saddle just hump up right there, right? Back of that saddle pop up. Means he put a hump in his back. Just let him kind of feel this, move a little bit. This is why I use this saddle for colt starting. It's lightweight, not a lot of movement, doesn't create a lot of energy. It's a good first experience. And I'm trying to keep him relaxed, right? I'm not trying to get him to blow up. I need you to not stop at the gate here. Nice slope. This is his baby brain here. Saying, I've been allowed to do what I want to do for a long time. I still want to keep doing it. That was really nice. Nope. We're going to work on this right here. What a nice slope, though. Nice. Let him relax because he didn't stop at the gate there. And he's handling that saddling really nicely. So for those of you who have watched a lot of our videos, you know, we try and prepare him as much as we possibly can. So like I said earlier, we've got 90 days with this horse. We've done quite a bit of groundwork before this, even only having him for, I don't know, maybe a week, week and a half. But, you know, we're not going to rush things, but we, like I said, are going to try and be as efficient as possible and get this horse to a really solid, comfortable place that the owners are going to feel good about riding him. I need to move these lights and fix this truthfully. Set it over here for now. Go ahead and open them up the other direction. Very nice. Nope. Nothing too eventful so far, which is awesome. If you guys can tell, this horse is still in that baby brain mode where his attention's kind of off me. He's thinking about outside. Still kind of being a little bit of a brat. Nice. Oh, But he's starting to get with the program a little bit. Starting to realize that we're not asking anything too unfair here, and that there's rules to this game, right? Nope, I didn't ask for that. Very nice. So I don't want him to stop at the gate. See if he stays here, mills around to the gate. Not too bad, buddy. I'm just facing up so you guys can see him a little bit. Hey, brother, that was good. That was good. We're not getting too fussy or picky about movement, transitions, none of that. It's first day getting cinched up and saddled, so. All right, dude. Grab this halter. That's pretty awesome. To be totally transparent with you guys. Not really any tension, or not much tension, no blow-ups. Good experience for him. All I'm gonna do now is just kind of finish this off with a little bit of right eye, left eye movement, some jumping as if I was gonna get in the saddle, a little tapping. Good job, dude. Good boy, brother. Good boy, brother. Go ahead and disengage his hip again. Nice. One thing that's important to mention, I've talked about in previous videos, but I'll bring up again, is when I bump this rein, I do not want it to mean his head. I need any weight on this rein to mean this, right, outside hind, right? So when I bump on this side, I need this left hind to step under. Good. Good job, buddy. All I'm doing is just creating a little bit of discomfort and balance for him. Seeing how he handles it. He's got a good mind on him though. All right, buddy. Yeah. So much of this, right, I'm sure every horse trainer would agree, is rhythm, right? Keeping our body relaxed, keeping our energy low, and kind of just leading by example. That's what makes a good horseman, in my opinion, or one of the factors is always leading by example. You can make a pretty worried horse pretty calm pretty quick if you do that. I mean, look at his head. He's paying attention. He's relaxed. I like that he's not got his mind outside of the round pen right now. Thank you. Pop this opposite side stirrup. You can't see it, but I'm popping the right stirrup from the left side. Good job, dude. Hi, buddy. I think we're gonna call it with that, guys. Nothing too complex today. Not a long session by any means. Short and sweet. Really positive experience for him, and we'll just kind of keep trucking along. So As always, guys, if you don't subscribe already, click subscribe. We really appreciate it. Click like. And if you have questions or comments on Duke, again, this is unstarted 4-year-old. We're going to be starting here. Just another one. So he's got a good mind, just trying to work past some some deficits that he's had growing up really without a lot of interaction with other horses. So going to be an interesting horse to show you guys and share with you, but he's going to make a nice one. So questions, comments, leave below, guys. I'll get back to you. And thank you guys so much for watching. So we'll see you next time.